Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about rests, specifically how you complete bars with rests. Now there's really only two things that you need to know for this. The first thing is that you need to complete each beat in the bar. That is, you look at each one in turn before you go on to the next bar. And then you've got to make sure that you're always using the least amount of rests possible. Now, why is that? It's because we want our work to look like written music. We actually want it to follow the conventions of written music. And in written music, almost always, they'll use the least amount of rests possible. And that's what we're aiming to do. So what I've got for you today are 4 examples that are taken from past grade 3 theory papers. And I want to work through those with you today just to show you what I'm talking about. So let's look at the first example here. It's in 9/8 time, compound triple time, and we've got a quaver, and we want to finish this bar with rests. Now, think about compound triple time. There are 9 quaver pulses in the bar, and they're grouped in threes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What we're aiming for is we want to be able to see the 3 parts of the bar very clearly. So if we're going to complete the first beat with rests, we're going to need 2 quaver rests. 1, 2. Some of you might ask, why can't I use a crotch arrest? Well, we have to be really careful in compound time. There's a rule that says you can use crotch arrests over the first and second pulses, but not over the second and third pulses in each group. And the reason for that is that if you put them on the second and third pulses, you're actually sort of disturbing the beat structure of the bar. So just remember that rule. It's a very important one. We need to look at the second beat now. The easiest way to complete the second beat, 3 quavers, is with a dotted crotchet rest. So there we go. And then the third beat, exactly the same. Just use a dotted crotchet rest. Some of you might ask, why can't I actually take those 2 dotted crotchet rests and turn them into a dotted minim rest? You were just talking about using the least amount of rests possible. It's the same principle as before. We need to be able to look at this bar and see all 3 clear beats. If I turn that into a dotted minim rest, it's not clear. So that's the answer. 2 quaver rests, 2 dotted crotchet rests. The next example I've got is in 3/4 time. I've got this figure here, dotted quaver followed by a semiquaver. That's worth 1 crotchet rest. And then I've got a semiquaver starting the second beat. And we want to finish this bar with rests. Now there's another little rule that comes into play here. And that is, if we're completing the second beat, we actually have to complete it in components, in sections. So if we've got a semiquaver there, what we need to do is we need to break that beat down into 2 quavers. We have to complete the 2 quavers, one after the other. So we'll need a semiquaver rest to finish the first quaver, and then a quaver rest to finish the second quaver. Not the other way around, because the other way around you'd just be adding up. This way you're actually completing the beat in the correct way. So that's the second beat. What about the third beat? Well, we only need a crotchet rest to complete that bar. And even though we've had to use 3 rests, it's still pretty clear. 1, 2, 3. Another example in 9/8 time now. There's an arrow here, just sort of resembling how these questions look on the exam papers. The question will usually be, at the arrow, use a rest or rests to complete this bar. So we've got more notes in this example. This figure here at the beginning is a duplet, and a duplet is 2 notes that are in the time of 3 of the same value. So 1, 2, 3 quavers, that's the first beat taken care of. And then this figure here, da, 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 we also know that that is worth 3 quavers. So that's the third beat taken care of. We only have to account for the second beat, and in a 9/8 bar, the easiest way to do that is with a dotted crotchet rest. So there we go. That's the easiest way to do that example. Then this final example, we've got a whole bunch of notes here, and it's in cut common time. So we need to see two minims in the bar. You can break that down into two crotchets. It's pretty much the same thing. So again, this little dotted rhythm here, we know that's worth one crotchet, and then this da 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 is also worth one crotchet. So that's two crotchets, one minim. That's the first beat taken care of. Let's look at this. So we're actually going to have to work backwards to finalize this one. We need a minim for the second beat. We've got a crotchet followed by a quaver, and we need another quaver to make up the minim, right? So we've got a semi-quaver here. Semi-quaver is half a quaver. We're going to need a semi-quaver rest to finish the whole beat. Let's just double check that. So crotchet, quaver, and then semi-quaver plus semi-quaver rest is quaver. That's the whole bar accounted for. One beat, two beats. Hope this information was useful, and if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll look forward to getting back to them. See you next time.